Wait, I want to ask you about any awkward like first date stories. I have one that I can think of.
Okay, all right, fire away.
I was on Tinder. I think this was like in my sophomore year before the pandemic, and I was just like talking to this one guy that I thought was like decently attractive, but like he kept on pushing to like get dinner or lunch or something. And then like I wasn't really like that responsive. But then like a few hours or a few days later, he would be like, "Oh, so are we getting dinner?" And then at that point, I'm like, "Okay, why not? Like I don't know you, but I'm free, so I'll just go on this dinner with you, right?" So that turned out to be a bad mistake. You know from a text conversation that you probably won't vibe, but it's like, you know, I'll still go anyways, you know?
You already know where this is going.
He seems like a very nerdy like CS person. So the very first question he asked me, he literally did not ask me anything about how I was doing or my day. He was like, "So what's your major?" I was like, "Oh, I'm majoring in business." And he was, the very first question after that, he was like, "So like, what do you want to do with like a business major?" And he also asked, he tacked on, "So like, why are you majoring in CS? Like, you're from the Bay Area from what I remember, like, why are you doing this?" I'm like, the very first 3 lines of conversation, he tells me this. Within 1 minute of before even stepping into the restaurant, I already know this is not going well. 5 minutes in, I was not really feeling it, but I was already ordering the food. I was like, might as well eat this food at least. Get at least some satisfaction from it. No. I just feel like our personalities didn't match just from the text conversation. I already kind of sensed it. So I think I was like trying to like force some conversation. I was like asking about like something about his family, like school experience, and then the dude was just giving me like 5-word answers. I was like, how am I supposed to work with this? Like, this was not it. So then we finished the dinner within like an hour. I knew this was not going well. I wanted to like stop. When I was walking towards my dorm, I received a text from the same guy's number. And do you know what he sent me? He sent me 2 screenshots of my profile. So I think what he did is that he tried to tell maybe a friend or something about what happened and send my photos, but he probably sent it to the wrong number. So I received his messages and I was like, oh my God, this is so strange, this is so weird.
He sounds like such a catch. You should marry him.
Bro, I made a mistake, man. Why did I leave early?
Oh, that hurt. Well, so I mean, I think that's understandable if you're an extremely sheltered person. So I guess like it's so new going into college that like he just doesn't know any better.
No,
like,
here's the catch. He graduated already. He was in the working world.
Oh my.
He was in the working world. He was older than me. Yeah, that was the cringy part. It's not like you were a freshman or a sophomore. You know, you were like a year out of college, 2 years out of college.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so he messaged you and you didn't reply and he kept following up. Right?
No, we had a brief conversation, but then kind of like lulled. Like I started being disinterested.
Yeah.
And then he would like follow up, but then I feel kind of like obligated because like I was like, oh, like maybe I should give him a chance because he's so interested, you know what I'm saying?
That's also kind of tricky because like I never know when to keep like pushing on and be very like specific about like, hey, if you're down, let's at least talk in person and see this time, this place, let's go yes, no, like please don't give me a vague answer, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I personally don't like texting at all. You know, I hate messaging. I feel like you can message someone for a long time, which I've like done before, where like I would keep in touch with someone for the whole summer, and then like the second you meet up with them, it's just like, yeah, this is not it. This is not it. You know, so some people like I kind of get that where they're very aggressive about meeting up. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. It just doesn't feel good to have kind of like an open end right here, like you know, an open loop, a loose end, whatever the heck you call it. It's just unfortunate that like he didn't realize he was being weird to you. Part of me is like, why did you even like meet up with him? But it's like, how do you tell?
Yeah, you don't know.
How do you know?
Until you like know.
Yeah, so much more work to filter like compatibility through like a dating app than it is in person. It's purely based on literally what they say and the content of their text.
Yeah, that's the problem dating apps.
Right. Have you had any dudes on dating apps who you ghost them or you like stop talking to them and they keep messaging you like over and over again?
I think there were times like where you talk to them and like the conversation just kind of lulls, like it's not really natural, you don't really have much to say. The problem is like when one person's more attached than the other person, that's when problems arise. Cause like one person is like not down, but they're not telling the other person who's more attached like, hey, like I want to like, I don't think it's gonna work out. They just kind of like leave without an explanation. And I think when that happens, that's like the shittiest feeling, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you're interested, but they're not, they don't tell you that they are, so you don't know.
Yeah. Is the move to just be really cool and really expecting that like the other person doesn't care and just like playing it off like you never care about anything?
I feel like from my experience, I feel like a lot of people started doing that, but at the same time, it's kind of like...
Don't waste my time, right?
What's kind of screwed because then you're approaching every interaction as like, oh, like I'm always playing defense, like I'm not trying to get to know them, I'm trying to like sense like when is the fastest time I should leave, you know? It just becomes that kind of culture.
I feel like people play games too much on dating apps where like
one person's trying to look cooler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
You don't want to look too desperate.
it's like a chess game that you're playing in your head
Yeah.
about like, all right, so
less desperate.
how should I time my messages? Like, how needy am I being right now?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need them to be the first one to say like, to
Yeah.
hint at this is a good idea, you know? I don't know. Oh shit.
Sorry, I don't want to.
Yo, what's
I've
up?
seen you on one of his videos.
What's up?
Yo, what's good? I feel like that's my weakness too. I'm not cool enough to play that game.
So what do you do then?
I don't know. I don't even think about it. I don't even notice, but I have a feeling I'm probably like way too forward about things or like way too friendly and nice. It feels dumb to like try to summarize how I am in these kinds of things.
course.
I don't think it's up to me to be like, oh man, I'm very likable. You know what I mean? Like, it's not up to me.
I think from my past experiences, I noticed a pattern. It's kind of like not really about whether I like them or not. It's kind of like if they reject me or if they say like something that's like negative, it's hard to take it sometimes as like their problem, not my problem. You start to go in circles and think like, oh, like is there something wrong with me? Is something wrong? Am I a boring person? Like it's more about, I guess, like my ego versus if I actually like them and I'm sad they're rejecting me, you know?
Oh, that's
Yes,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to be honest with yourself too about like
Yeah.
why you feel very like negative about this, especially if you're already a very naturally neurotic person or you have insecurities where I don't like it when someone gives me an indication that I'm not liked. Do you just have to shoot your shot with enough people before you stop caring or stop thinking it's a you problem?
I think it's about like a lot of times it's about the quantity. Like if you're talking to like a lot of people at the same time, I don't know what a lot means. It could be any number for anyone. But I think like once you
Is
get to that
700 too much? Whoops. I'm just
I don't think that's mentally possible for anyone to keep up with. But like I think it gets to a point where it's like if you've gone through it so many times, you probably won't care about the next time if it happens badly because you've gone through it so many times.
Yeah, I think that's like a lot of things. Even when you think that it's not a numbers game, like it kind of has to be a numbers game.
Yeah.
Again, like I think it's different for everyone, but you just literally need to go through enough things to get enough data to know what you want and what you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think part of it is this is the nerdiest thing I could say ever, especially as a previous like tech person. It kind of is a numbers game.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that like like probability of dating someone and it being a successful like match, but in terms of like gathering information about yourself and what
Yeah.
you want in a person, like what you actually want from a relationship. I feel like we're being so abstract that it's it's kind of like
You're feeding into your personal algorithm and then you can like when you go on to the next person, you kind
Oh,
of go
man.
through all those experiences and be able to decide yes or no or maybe. I don't know if that makes sense.
yeah.
Does that make sense?